Hello, you beautiful human beings. What is up? It's Morgan, and I'm back with another video. And let me tell you, today I am feeling so much better. I am in a great mood. We're gonna have a great conversation today, and I'm excited. So let's get into this video. Today I'm gonna be talking about social media, and obviously social media is such a broad topic to discuss. But I have just a couple bullet points that I wanted to touch on because as I've been on social media for the past, I don't know when it first became a thing, but I would say since I was in middle school. Middle school was when you started getting the Uvus and Kick and Vine and all of those like old platforms, YouTube. And so I have grown up with social media, and I've grown to see all of the different platforms change and see how the community as a whole changes over time. I would say social media was absolutely amazing in the beginning. During the Vine days, everything was simple. YouTube, I remember with YouTube, the first couple videos that I watched was Sophia, Grace, and Rosie in the Ellen Show. I don't know, there was this black and white cat that this video got millions and millions of views. There was, oh my god, what is that one? The Charlie Bit My Finger video. There are so many like OG staples that I would say kind of shaped social media. I mean, that was just the very beginning stepping stones, which is so weird to think about. Now it's actually like going back in time. This is unlocking some parts of my brain that I didn't even remember or didn't even know existed. So just looking at the pros and cons of social media as a whole, I would say a pro is that social media helps connect people, whether that's family, friends. If you're long distance, people are now able to talk to people that they know all across the world, or maybe even people that they don't know, right? So it's created a lot of new job opportunities. It has created a community, lots of different communities. People are now more, I would say, aware than ever because they have access to so many things, and people are more aware of what's going on in the world as a whole, which can be a very powerful tool. But social media also isn't always used in the best way. Another positive to social media, like I mentioned earlier, just provides a way for you to be able to see things that you don't normally see or that you wouldn't be able to experience, like a video of a shark 200 feet underwater. If there wasn't somebody posting that video on YouTube, you would never be able to experience seeing something like that unless you're Bethany Hamilton swimming in the sea with a shark. But then with just like anything in life, there are also cons. I would say for one, it's extremely distracting. I know it's set up in a way that people now compare themselves to other people, unlike anything that we've been able to see before, because it's on such a large scale. You can go on Instagram, go on YouTube, go on TikTok, and see millions of different people. And so it's hard not to go on to social media and say, oh, look at how successful this person is. Look at how beautiful this person is. Look at how healthy their relationship seems in comparison to mine, or whatever the case is. There's just a lot of comparison to friends, comparison to celebrities, comparison to people that you absolutely don't even know. I just noticed that I literally look like I'm holding a microphone, but I'm not holding my microphone. This is such a powerful microphone that if I hold it up to my mouth, you guys are going to be blasted and probably go deaf. And I would be getting sued, and we don't want that. But the audio is very, very clear, and it picks up sound from far away, which is why I'm not holding it. But I feel so bare. I would also argue that social media is very addictive. I know me, my friends, my teachers, pretty much anybody who has these platforms find themselves in a cycle where they often are checking it, or maybe if you're someone who's active and you enjoy posting on there, you're always looking to find the next trend, the next whatever, and it does become addicting because it's like you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that you do? Roll over and check your phone. That's so not normal. People did not used to live like this back in the day. People would roll over, wake up, and like maybe go collect the chickens from the backyard. Like, it's such a different world. And it's crazy to see how quickly things have evolved from when I was about 8 to now 22. Technology has just advanced so fast, and it's honestly a little scary. With social media, the art of reading has pretty much diminished to zero. I know very few people, including myself, I'm not even gonna lie, I tried, and I just don't have the attention span for it, which is another negative to the whole social media world and this new culture that we are indulging in. I would say it's just there's such a lack of an attention span now because everything's so quick. You know, you can go on TikTok and every video is like 10 seconds and you get a quick laugh. You go on Twitter, the word count is only so much. You read a couple funny things, watch a couple funny videos, and keep scrolling. Like, everything is so fast-paced now that nobody wants to sit down and read an entire novel, but it's making us all stupid. Honest to God. Now, one of my last bullet points, my mom has always been on me about this since the very first iPhone came out, and that's just the exposure to radiation that we have through our phones. We have no idea what we're doing to our bodies, exposing ourselves to these radiation waves and chemicals that come from our phone, and we constantly have it in our ear if we're talking on the phone, or maybe laying on the bed next to us, in our pockets. And we have no clue what this is going to do to us long term. We might start mutating extra thumbs or something. Like, we don't know how these little pocket phones are going to evolve us going down the road. I was thinking about this lately. I remember in school we used to always have this quantity versus quality debate. I don't know why, but I was kind of relating it to social media the other day. And just thinking about the type of content that we now see. People used to really take pride and care in what they posted, but now you can open your phone and see a video of somebody like farting and everybody's cracking up. The quality of content is just not there anymore, and it's because we are so overindulged and there's just such a mass amount of content now that nothing's really that special. And just going back to what I was saying, the quality is just diminished so much. And so that kind of sucks to see, just from a bystander standpoint. And that's not to say that there aren't a few amazing creators that don't put their heart and soul into the production of their video, because there are some, but it just used to be more common. I don't know what year that was, but when the Jake Paul brothers were big and it was the whole Team 10 house, right around that time was when every single content creator was online, editing the mess out of their stuff, just putting out the absolute best content that they can. And now there are people who go on Twitch or live stream and they're just filming themselves, recording themselves for 10 hours straight. There's no quality content in that. You're sitting here watching somebody pick their nose and eat dinner. Like, hello, why are people able to make money off of going on live streams for 10 hours? It blows my mind, honest to God. It doesn't really make sense to me, and yet it's happening. So kind of circling back to the decreased attention span thing, I would say that social media has really ruined relationships in a way. And I say that because I think that it's ruined people's ability to just feel fulfilled and be happy with what they have and be happy within themselves. Because it's like now people are always constantly chasing after something better and they're always looking for the next best thing. And I would say social media really has played a huge role in that, because people now only post the most polished images of themselves, or it's crazy. It's like one or the other. There are people who are editing their photos to high heavens and creating these just ungodly standards for people, but then there are also the people who will sit there and record 24 hours of their day on live and just show every little aspect. So I guess it's hard for me to make a particular point there, but I would say people's attention spans are definitely lacking, and it has created issues in their overall happiness levels. I know that there's a large effect on people's mental health. It's kind of associated with anxiety, depression, feelings of isolation, even though that's technically not a mental diagnosis, but you know what I mean. It's crazy because I just saw today that Catherine McBroom and Austin McBroom are getting a divorce. Now, I actually grew up watching the Ace Family way back in the day when it was just Elle. They now have 3 kids. Elle's their oldest one. I don't need to be doing a debriefing, but I used to watch them when I was younger. And then as I grew up, I was like, Austin is shady. He got in a lot of controversy, and I just no longer supported that family. But I'm honest to God so happy for Catherine. She deserves so much better. I don't know how in the world that woman stayed in that relationship as long as she did. I have recently seen just so many people who are getting divorced, who are separating, breaking up, everything along those lines. And I just think it's so crazy because it's like nobody can just be in a relationship and be happy anymore. It appears that way. It just seems like commitment is at an all-time low in society, and people are just hopping around person after person. And I have just yet to see an example of one couple. Actually, there is one couple, and they're a TikTok couple, Hannah Riley and Elmo. Those are literally the only people on social media who I have watched for a long time who has remained together for longer than like 3 years. It's crazy. People don't value having a single relationship anymore or having a commitment that they then take for life. It's wild. I was just talking to my mom about this. Going along the lines of family, let's talk about the kids for a second. Kids are growing up so fast these days. I look at a picture of a 12-year-old, 13-year-old now, and they look like I did when I was 16 or 17. They just dress differently. They're wearing makeup. They're exposed to things at a younger age. So they are more aware of mature content, and they're wild. The children in this upcoming generation, they are the boldest little mother truckers that I have ever seen in my life. I genuinely think that it's sad. I grew up on Tamagotchis and playing on my DSi and the Wii. I still play the Wii to this day. And I just think kids now are getting their first phones at what age? When they go to school? 5, 6, 7. And it's just so bad for these little brains to develop this habit so young. It honestly makes me sad to see. I think kids just can't be kids anymore, and they really need to be. They need to go outside, get some sun, play in some grass, make some dumb decisions, jump off a tree or something, and, experience life while they can before they get hit with responsibilities and taxes. Now, this is something that I personally can relate to so much. FOMO. We got this little thing called FOMO, and FOMO stands for fear of missing out. And with social media, FOMO is at an all-time high, and this is something that I feel like within the past year I just recently learned how to finally overcome and just accept that not every single day of my life is going to be a movie, and that I don't need to sit here and scroll and see what every single person is doing and look at all the fun things that other people are doing while I'm sitting here in bed. But FOMO is a real thing, and it depends on what stage in life you're at. For college students, it's maybe I missed a party, I missed going out, I missed some crazy thing that happened at the bar. And then for people in an older demographic, fear of missing out might be I missed this person's wedding, everybody was there and I wasn't, so now I'm not part of something. It can really mess with your brain sometimes. It's weird. This feeling that you're absolutely going to miss out on some big thing. It's like the same things happen over and over again for the most part. So it's never as big of a deal as you think, but it always seems like a bigger deal in the moment. You also have to be so aware. And there's like this weird social etiquette now where everybody's trying to be overly politically correct because they're terrified that they're going to get caught up in something that they don't want. I think this is seen a lot of time with celebrities or people who have a recent come up and they're in the big limelight, and all of a sudden old videos, old messages, old phone calls comes to light. Things obviously that person would want to be private, but there's just no privacy anymore. You have to be careful about what you say and do, because you never know what's going to be seen, what's going to be saved. Snapchat says pictures and videos disappear. I would bet all my money in the bank account that there's some big old cloud somewhere that you could access every single photo that has ever been sent. We don't have as much privacy as people even believe that they do. That is something that I am super hyper aware of. Being in the marketing space and taking classes, I've learned that nothing is private. Now, I've talked about a lot of the negatives that social media brings, but there are some positives. I don't know if you're familiar with the Ohio murder case. That was such a shocking, just chilling time, and I know living on a campus, that made me not want to go out. And for anybody who's not familiar with the case, it's basically this guy, his name was Brian Kohlberger, and he was stalking this one girl, and this was on campus. I don't really remember exactly which campus. I don't want to put the wrong information out there, but he was stalking this girl, and she rejected him. He got mad and went in, killed her roommate's boyfriend. Like, just went on a killing spree, and it was a 2-story, I think it was actually a 3-story, but he like went on the first floor and the second floor and killed everybody, left the dog, and just walked out. And it took so long for the police. I mean, maybe it's not so long by standards of the police, but in my opinion, he was on the loose for a long time. And just the feeling of unease that was across all campuses after that. Oh my God, that case, I've never just felt something so close to my heart. I didn't even feel safe after listening to just how brutal that murder case was. And so the positive to this whole new wave of phones and social media and gadgets and things like that, they were able to trace his phone and see that he had been in that area. It was premeditated. He went there before. Looking at cameras in the nearby area, they were able to find his car and just a bunch of little details. They got a warrant, and he ultimately got arrested. It's crazy because everybody on social media was trying to put it together. They were finding details that the police didn't even catch or the police weren't aware of. So social media does hold a power, and that it's a really strong community where people can use it for good if they decide to, but oftentimes they don't. And going off of that, recently I have noticed just the biggest shift on social media, and that's just how negative these comments are. You used to go into the comment section and people would make jokes, things were funny, they'd be like, oh, this is cute, I love you, whatever. Now it's like 90% of the posts that I look at, it doesn't matter what the content is, I can scroll and within the first 10 seconds, I'm going to see some type of hate comment. People love to hate. People love to bring other people down. And it's just so wild because it's like you don't have anything better to do than to sit there and comment about somebody else. And there's just so many people out there who do it. I don't know. It's like maybe we as a society have just become more negative people. Like I was saying, less fulfilled, but it's really, really crazy, especially TikTok. It's turning into such a negative space. It's not as enjoyable as it used to be. You could see somebody post a video of their baby and then there's 100 police in the comments like, oh, you're a terrible mother, you didn't do this, you did that, why'd you hold the baby that way, oh, why didn't they get a pacifier, oh, they're too old to have a pacifier. It's just everybody's got an opinion, and I would say this is honestly like the biggest downfall for social media. Everybody's got an opinion and they feel entitled to share it, and it's just that's what's creating the negativity. Nobody wants to hear your opinion, quite honestly, unless they actively seek it out, and in that case, by all means. That's just something that I will never understand unless they deserve it. There are a couple people out there who post some really stupid stuff, and it's like, by all means, flame away. They deserve that. But for the most part, be kind, spread love, and joy. If you've made it to this part of the video, as always, I just want to say thank you so much. I enjoyed our little talk today. I hope that you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye!